Today, I crashed out during trading and turned winning trades into losing trades because I let my emotions get the best of me. In this video, I'm gonna break down what mistakes I did, what were the trade setups, show you that they worked if I would have stayed mechanical in the trades and instead of letting my emotions get the best of me. So let's break it down. Let me teach you what I learned. Let me teach you what the mistakes I did so you don't do the same mistakes and you can be a better trader than I am tomorrow. We're going to break down the two Bitcoin trades we took first, and then we'll get into NASDAQ. Here is the first Bitcoin trade we took. You can ignore this portion right here because we were focused in right here on this liquidity sweep from this high to the left. Price had hit this 5-minute high, left a wick off of it, and pushed off of it very nicely, giving us our 1-minute kill shot first confluence. Then we jumped down to the 1-minute time frame and we had a inverse fair value gap right here. We got tapped into the inverse fair value gap and then price pretty much immediately went to our stop loss. This one we didn't execute improperly. We stuck mechanically, but I think this is what started to get me on tilt because I was just frustrated that we started off with a loss, especially after yesterday's trade when we had mechanical difficulties and we weren't able to take any trades yesterday, but every single trade was an amazing trade. So we missed out on a huge green day yesterday because of technical difficulties that we had no control of. So we took a loss here and this started to put me on my tilt where I started getting frustrated and emotional with the market. Then Bitcoin had one more trade over here. And this is our second trade that we took with Bitcoin. As you can see, Bitcoin stopped us out, but it came up again and swept this high, rejecting it. We started off great with this second trade. We started off great. We executed properly. We were paying attention to the 5-minute time frame. Then we were going down the 1 minute and price inverted this fair value gap right here. So what do? We put our limit in, we get tapped out. We don't even go into drawdown and price immediately starts shooting down. But I started getting all emotional and freaked out because while we're also doing this Bitcoin trade, NASDAQ was taking a trade too. That also took a loss. That got me all on tilt. And I started misreading my Bitcoin trade wrong, where we left a big wick off this low here. And on the 1-minute time frame, inverted a fair value gap. I closed my position here in profit, but missed out on an amazing trade. I should have never closed this trade. I let my emotions get the best of me and I closed a really good trade early, and we would have been able to lock in on this trade over a 2.95 R trade if we were able to stay disciplined and not let our emotions get to us. If we were able to just lock in on this trade and stick to it, we would have had an excellent trade on this one. But because I let my emotions get my best of me and didn't stay mechanical, I closed the trade early, missing out on quite a bit of profit. And so that was a bummer here over on Bitcoin. It should have been a green day today on Bitcoin, but we let the emotions get the best of us. Now let's go break down our NASDAQ trade. Here is our NASDAQ morning setup. We have our 9:30 a.m. candle here. That was our opening range, and we saw major displacement to the upside with NASDAQ after the market kind of opened up and then manipulated to this upside. We waited for price. I wanted to see what price would do to the high that it formed here on the 5-minute time frame. And as you can see, price failed to displace this high, leaving pretty large wicks, not once but twice on NASDAQ. And then if we drop down to the 1-minute time frame, we have a inverse fair value gap right here. Now, here's what I did wrong with NASDAQ. One, I was already on tilt because yesterday we weren't able to take yesterday we would have locked in over 200 points on NASDAQ if our software didn't mess up like it did yesterday, and we should have a very green day, and I should have been able to lock in a payout on Top Step. So I was very just nervous going into this because I was like, oh, watch, it's gonna lose, and I was already going in the mindset and emotions of I'm gonna lose this trade. And I moved my stops. Stops should have stayed at this wick high, but instead I moved my stops down to the bodies of this candle. We got stopped out, and then price literally ripped down to our take profit. If I would have stayed mechanical with my strategy, kept my stop loss at the high like I was supposed to, I would have not only hit my TP, I would have not have ever been stopped out, and I would have been able to lock in a payout today. There's so many things that would have happened that would have been good for me today if I would have just stuck mechanical. And not only that, price then we would have been able to trail all the way down to this 5-minute order block, and then that's when we finally would have gotten stopped out for an excellent trade. This would have been a really, really, really good trade, but because I let my emotions get the best of me, it ruined the trade. And the learning lesson here I really want you guys all to take away with is that the model did not work today. The model worked perfectly today. The only thing that didn't work was my discipline, because my discipline was all on whack and I was letting emotions get the best of me. I ruined today's opportunities. I ruined it, not the model. So it's another learning lesson that says I need to stay disciplined, mechanical, and keep my emotions out of my trading. So let's break down what did we actually lose on our Bitcoin trades. Bitcoin trades, we lost $43.42 on that first trade. That one was fine. And then we took a win of $28.42 today. So we took about a $10-ish loss today on Bitcoin. Nothing that we can't recover from. Not a bad loss. It just sucks that it could have been a green day, but because I let my emotions get the best of me, it's not. Now, NASDAQ had actually a pretty substantial loss today, and we lost $2,500 on NASDAQ today. Not a fun day on NASDAQ. Well, I hope today's video, my little digital journal that I make for you guys every single day after we live day trade, I hope it is a learning lesson, not only for myself, because I utilize this to help myself remember things and not make mistakes again, but I hope it really helps you guys to not make the same stupid mistakes I did today, and that you can stay mechanical and trust your model that you formed and created, to trust in the market. This is, I think today in the live stream, you know, it sucked that I had to do it today, and it sucked that like I was an example and it was embarrassing. But I hope it was a good learning lesson for you guys of like, this is why it's so important to keep emotions out of trading. You stay mechanical, you stay level-headed. And so it is what it is today. The thing that I'm grateful for is that after those stupid losses and the stupid trading, I said, hey, I'm walking away. I'm not going to keep trading. I'm not going to overtrade and make this day worse than what it already is. And I took those trades and I was done. As I knew I was emotional, I knew I was all over the place, and I knew that would not be good if I kept trading for the day. So I walked away. That's the best thing that happened today. I took the one trade on NASDAQ, and I clearly knew I was all over the place. We're walking away. We're not digging ourselves a hole that we can't get out of. So hopefully tomorrow we can turn the ship around. We can have a nice green day, and we can stay mechanical and not let the emotions get the best of us. Thank you guys so much. If you would like, subscribe to this channel, comment, like it, and I would love to have you guys join me on my live streams I do every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. at the market open, where we live day trade. All this happened live. You could have asked questions, you could have watched me, you know, go through the emotional swings I was going through, and you could have watched me make the right decision to say, hey, we're gonna walk away from the charts today because I'm not feeling it. I'm all over the place and it's not a good spot. So all right guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow at market open during our live stream.